Today I'm at the Atwater Tavern, which is right on the water in a 1920s building that used to be part of the Port Authority. San Francisco, of course, wouldn't have been anything without its water and its ships. And later, it would be made by mining. I'm Bonnie Spindler, the Victorian Specialist, and I'm here today to talk about the earliest origins of San Francisco. So when the gold miners came to San Francisco after they'd found gold, struck it rich, or as they were preparing to go to find gold and to stake a claim, they would stay in what was called Happy Valley, what we call Soma today. And the reason they called it Happy Valley, without any kind of sarcasm, was that it was sunnier and warmer and a little less foggy, a little less windy than the rest of San Francisco. So San Francisco's founding fathers were madly trying to name the brand new streets of San Francisco. And the rumor going around for years during the 70s was that the streets were named after the prostitutes that were servicing the miners. That's actually not true. The names of streets came from steamers and ships that were porting here. And so when you look at the newspaper from the time, there is a reference to the ship Annie and a reference to the ship Jessie, and Tahama is a steamship that was both repurposed and worked on here, and then also was purchased and then started sailing again. And so all of the small streets that we normally think of as women's names were actually ship names. So the 49ers, which is named after the year that they were panning for gold, would pan up on the American River and the Feather River and then bring their gold back to San Francisco. And there were services that built up around the panhandlers so that they could, support themselves while they were out in the wilds trying to find gold. One of those companies was started by Amos Catlin. And the American River was surrounded by an Indian tribe called the Maydews. And the Maydews had a word for the river. It was called clear water, and that word was Natoma. Amos Catlin came to San Francisco and created the Natoma Mining and Water Company, and he provided water and mining services to the panhandlers. So by 1850, California is made a state. And by 1852, the gold rush is pretty much over, and buildings started to really fill in the original part of the city. Today we're going to get to see a Victorian that was built in 1857. It had the water turned onto it, and it's on Natoma Alley, which is one of those early streets that it was named at the same time as all the ships that were arriving in San Francisco. Here we are in front of 666 Natoma Street. As you can see from the building behind me, it's a Victorian. It has the dentils in the top and the shiplap siding. It's really a charming building. It looks very hip and very techno in its black facade, but it also retains all of its Victorian charm. Let's go inside and see this amazing piece of architecture. The whole first floor of the building has been opened up for maximum flexibility. You could use it for almost anything, an art studio, tech offices, anything that your mind can imagine. There's a conference room built in that's been outfitted with some indoor grass. And so it looks kind of fun and hip, has a sliding door for privacy. It has an ADA bathroom and a regular bathroom. Also on the first floor you have direct access to the garage. There's one-car parking with a loft above. And so really this space is really incredible for almost any use that you can imagine. In these mixed-use buildings, it's very rare to find parking and a yard. And the yard is really quite charming. You feel like you're in Europe. You have the little overhead twinkly lights, a mature tree, and a garden bed for plantings. It gets a lot of light during the day. And also you've got the Trex decks that don't rot. Really nice. My favorite thing though is this charming brick wall that makes up the back of the property, and it has a door to nowhere, which I think is absolutely artistic and cool. Also from here you can see the tankless hot water heater so that you have an infinite amount of hot water. Upstairs in the residence, you'll find it to be quiet, private, and flooded with light. The whole front of the building is covered with windows and they're south facing. And then throughout the apartment, there are skylights that drop pockets of light throughout the entire space. The floors are hardwood and dark and lush. They look very rich. And the kitchen is brand new. It has glass tile backsplash and a very modern, sleek exterior appearance. Stainless steel appliances, and it's really set up for a great room, entertaining, or family living. In the back, there are 3 bedrooms. The primary bedroom has a master bath and an alpha system in the closet. The other 2 bedrooms are bright and have closets of their own and skylights. Off the primary bedroom, there's a big balcony, large enough to sit, read a newspaper, or have a little dinner party. You've got the mature tree for shade, the nice rustling noise. So here you are in the center of the city, in one of the older buildings of the city, and surrounded by nature and really comfort. Thank you so much for joining me on today's tour of Happy Valley and 664 through 666 Natoma. We are here in the center of the city where mining and shipping built a major city, and we were at ground zero. I love this little Victorian. It's so easy to show. Give me a call, Bonnie Spindler, the Victorian Specialist, and come see it today.